Stop number 6 of the Great American Bash Tour took us to the Windy City, Chicago. The question on everybody's mind, would Seth Freakin Rollins show up and accept the challenge of CM Punk? We kicked off the night with a throwback match. We went all the way back to 1989. Chi-Town Rumble, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now, the history between these two, they have had matches all over the world, classics. But a lot of people would say that this very match in Chicago back in 1989 might just be their very best. The Nature Boy here locking in his patented figure 4, but the resiliency of the Dragon not allowing him to tap. Ricky would be able to dodge the knee, and then just like 1989, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat would pick up the win. And these two had a hell of a match and definitely set the tone for the night here in Chicago. Then we had our first title match of the night. This one a rematch from our stop in Cleveland. Bobby Roode taking on Otis for the WCW television title. And if you'll remember, last time this one ended in a double countout. So this time we're running it back, and it's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match, which means the pinfall or submission could take place inside the wrestling ring or anywhere across the city of Chicago. Just like last time, the action would spill out to the outside. And the fact that you can cover your opponent anywhere, Bobby Roode would go to that early and often. Trying to catch Otis off guard, maybe. But Otis able to kick out every time. Action moving back into the ring. And once again, Bobby Roode with a cover, but Otis able to get his shoulders up. Then Otis would send Bobby into the ropes. Pop up. Powerbomb, hook the leg. And get the 1, 2, 3. Otis successfully defending his WCW television title. He leaves Chicago still the champ. Then in tag team action, we would see LA Knight teaming up with the phenomenal AJ Styles to take on Despicable Ray and Dirty Dom of the LWO. Now we know the history between AJ and the LWO. LA Knight wanting to get into the mix, into that world title picture, teaming up here with AJ, knowing but the LWO is not going anywhere. We saw the lengths that they went through when we were in Washington, helping Ray retain against AJ. Here, AJ with a calf crusher, but Ray able to come in and break it up. And then AJ would hit a Styles Clash, roll Dom over, and that would do it. AJ Styles and LA Knight victorious here, getting a big win against the LWO. Up next, it was the WCW Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Dragon Lee taking on the Mad Dragon, Ilja Dragunov. If you'll remember, at our last stop in Detroit, Dragon Lee won an Iron Man match to earn this opportunity. Dragon Lee looking to capture the Cruiserweight title for the first time, came out at the start of this one on fire. And we know Dragon Lee's history, 11 months as WCW television champion. Came into this one wanting to add Cruiserweight champ to that resume. But Dragunov not willing to relent so easy. Dragon Lee with a cover, not enough. And then here, Dragon Lee looking to put Dragunov away, but a nice reversal from Ilja. And then he would set up with that devastating uppercut. Covers Dragon Lee. And that would be enough to get the win. Dragon Lee. Great effort on his part. But it's the Mad Dragon, Ilja Dragunov, who comes away with the victory. Then we saw Big Bronson Reed go one-on-one with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Cody still trying to navigate everything in WCW. And Big Bronson Reed is probably not the landmark that you want to spend a whole lot of time around. But Cody, again, trying to establish himself now that he's in WCW. The talent pool is deep over here. And you've got a lot of guys coming over from the WWE who are used to being in that main event picture. Well, they're guys that are still here in WCW that have been in that. And they're not looking to just move out of the way. Just because you were a former champion somewhere else doesn't mean anything. These guys like Cody and LA Knight, they're going to have to earn it. And picking up wins like Cody did here in Chicago against Big Bronson Reed is a great start. Then we had the WWE Women's Championship on the line. Piper Niven taking on Bayley. Now, Piper, we've seen her progression over really the last 6 months. If you've watched the recaps, especially our This Week series, the example that I've used over and over and over again, whether it's the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, number one contender battle royals, or number one contender gauntlet matches, Piper Niven always ends up being the bridesmaid. She always comes in second. She gets so close to realizing her dream and not even winning the championship, getting an opportunity to compete for one. And here in Chicago, she has that opportunity. She doesn't have to eliminate 29 other women. She doesn't have to outlast women in the Elimination Chamber or women in a gauntlet. She's one-on-one with the champ, and she would take that opportunity and make the most of it. Piper Niven finally can call herself champion. She is your new WWE Women's Champion. Then we had another throwback match. This one taking us back to 1997, WrestleMania 13, a submission match between Bret the Hitman Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, this match here, when you think about the Attitude Era, this is one of those, this is the Attitude Era. This is the match that when I think back on that time, this was like the beginning stages of it. You have this match where Bret comes in as the face, Stone Cold comes in as the heel. And as this match goes on, the roles reverse. The crowd in Chicago turns on Bret and starts getting behind Stone Cold. And again, this is the early days of the Stone Cold Steve Austin character. He had not won a championship up to this point. And he comes into this match, a match that is tailor-made for Bret Hart. Stone Cold's not a submission expert. That's Bret Hart's wheelhouse. But Austin, throughout everything that Bret Hart threw at him, in the end, while he may have lost the match, he never said, "I quit." He never tapped. And you got that iconic shot that the WWE would use for years and years of Austin and the sharpshooter, blood just running down his face. And then he passes out. That's one of the most iconic matches in WWE history. We relived it here. Bret victorious again. But hell of a match, and definitely one of my favorites. Then it was time to see if Seth Freakin Rollins would show up here in Chicago and face CM Punk. Punk out in the ring, waiting for his answer. And that answer would be, oh, hell yeah, he was showing up. Seth freaking Rollins here in Chicago. And this all got started when Punk showed up in Detroit and challenged Seth freaking Rollins to show up in Chicago and meet him in the ring one-on-one. A lot of history between these two. The last time we saw CM Punk in our universe was actually back at WrestleMania 1. And Seth and his wife Becky issued an open challenge to any mixed team that wanted to show up to WrestleMania and try to make a WrestleMania moment. That challenge was answered by CM Punk and his wife AJ Lee. Now, when it was all said and done, it was actually Seth and Becky who made the WrestleMania moment, as they would pick up the victory. But it's been a year and a half. We have not seen Punk in a year and a half. And he's let that anger, that resentment that is built up over getting embarrassed by Seth Rollins on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. And he knew that the Great American Bash was rolling through his town, rolling through his city. And he wanted to get Rollins in the ring. Maybe this is a comeback, maybe it isn't. We don't know. All we know was he issued a challenge, and Seth freaking Rollins answered that challenge. And that's where we're at right here. Punk here would get Rollins up. We saw quite a few GTSs. This one in particular would be the kill shot, as he would get the 1, 2, 3. CM Punk, back, not back, we don't know. But here in Chicago on this very night, he was the winner. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're liking these videos, please like and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next. We'll see you guys next time from Los Angeles.